Hello everybody and welcome back at Adobe Live. I'm your host Kladi and I'm here with you for a brand new Illustrator challenge featuring typography. So today we're going to be talking about font and type, but most importantly how to remix it with some lovely effect, in particular using our 3D classic panel. I want to say first of all hi to everybody that is here with us. Afroya, lovely to see you. Val in the chat. Make sure to go ahead and check out Val and her magical clickable links that she's going to be posting in the chat. I can see Arturo, Penny, Clever. As usual, everybody, welcome to Adobe Live, another brand new fun stream. We have Karen in the house. Lovely to see you. Another wonderful Adobe Live host and speaker. And let's get started. So we want to jump right away in Illustrator. As I say all the time, during this stream, you have two options. One, chill, relax, enjoy the stream, and just simply, exchange your ideas with the community while you watch. Or you can head down to the link and you can click on the starter file, open Illustrator, and you will be able to work along. So you're going to make the most out of these 30 minutes together because you're going to be able to create alongside. So choose your option. If you need, click on the link right now because we are about to start. While we launch Illustrator, I also want to ask everybody that is on YouTube to join behance.net/live. This is the place where we actually have the chat and the wonderful community. So I will be able to read the comment. When you hear me say hello, I usually say hello to everybody that is on Behance because that's the chat that I can see during the lives. And hopefully you have already, hi Stony, lovely to see you. Barbara, let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm based in Manchester, UK, although you probably will get it by my accent. I am not British. I've been here a while, but I'm an Italian designer based in Manchester right now. My mom is in the chat. Hi. Lovely to see everybody here. Perfect. Looks like we are ready to go. Vudoval has also put in the chat the wonderful Discord link, which is just right here. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick behind me. Here it is. Boom. Is bit.ly/AI Discord. Discord is a wonderful community where you can submit your work and you can also be able to exchange opinions, critique, and join the wonderful community here for the challenges. And let me jump real quick into Discord so you can see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. We actually had a challenge that it was about creating 3D characters. I love that. Lucky, you've done such an amazing job. I absolutely love that. And you can get feedback. As you can see, you can show your work. Those are part of the previous challenges. We've been creating patterns. We work with gradient, more 3D, mood boards, and gradients. So make sure to go ahead and join the challenge. You will be able to post your work under that challenge channel on Discord. And again, the link to join is just right here, bit.ly AI Discord, international community to share your work and of course interact and getting to know new friends. But by this time, hopefully everybody now is on the same page as me, having your challenge 3D map text effect opened. And as I say all the time, I always want to give a little bit of show you how the layer and how the document is layered up, so we have a little bit of understanding. If you want to remove this text that I applied, this is part of the instructions. You can click on the little eye icon in order to hide the element that we're not going to be using. Those are just instructions. So if they feel like they're taking too much space, we can now go ahead and click on the eye icon to just hide them. If you want to delete them or if you want to edit them, all you have to do is to unlock them. That's the reason why if you try to click on them, you cannot click on them, is because they are their editability is preserved by the little lock. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and hide them so we can take advantage of this space. And I already provided for you a little bit of text and a wiggly line or a zigzag line. Now, before we actually get started, I want to show you how to create this line. It's just like, honestly, one to two steps, which is literally creating a line and then creating the smooth zigzag. Richard states, I just made it at 1080 by 1080 artboard. That's fantastic. If you want to create a 1080 by 1080 artboard, maybe you'll be able to share your work on Instagram as well, because that's the resolution of an Instagram post. But as I say, let's go ahead and start by creating this wiggly line together. So I'm going to go ahead and you have options here. You can use the pen tool, or you can simply use the segment tool, which is hidden under the rectangle tool. If you click and hold the rectangle tool, you will see the line segment tool. Let me see if I can actually zoom so you can see it here. You can also activate it by using the backslash in your keyboard. Now, once you select that line segment tool, all you'll have to do is to click and drag in order to create a segment or whatever length you want. Make sure to hold the shift key in order to make a straight segment. That's exactly what we want right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and head to the properties panel in order to change the thickness of the stroke. I'm just going to do that just because we want to make it visible, although don't worry about a specific thickness. I'm not worrying about styling this stroke today because we're just going to use it as a little, skeleton for our 3D. So once you create your segment, I'm going to go ahead and select Effect. And from here, I'm going to head to Distort and Transform. Here it is. From the Distort and Transform, I'm going to go ahead and select our zigzag option. Here it is. Go ahead and click on zigzag and you will have the zigzag pop-up menu pop up on your machine. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see exactly what it looks like. We have the options of the size, and in this case is the size of our zigzag. Make sure to click on the preview, make sure that this is ticked so you can actually see the preview taking place while we work. I'm going to go ahead and move this a little bit more on this side of the screen so we can have a nice broad view of the panel, but at the same time we can look at our wiggly line changing as well. Perfect. So as I said, the size here is the size of our curves. So as you can see, the bigger is this unit, the bigger is this little curve gonna be. Now you may also change the ridges. So the size is the size of the ridges, and then you can also change the number of ridges for segment. I'm gonna go ahead with something like 20 for the size, and then maybe 10 for the number of ridges. I tend to use also like a ratio in which the size is always double the number, and that's just the way that I like doing it. But again, you can go ahead and do as much as you want. If you want to create, a little bit of a bigger zigzag, feel free to do so. Now, at the moment we have sharp corners, but if you want to change it into a wave like I've done above, all you have to do is to select smooth. And by doing so, you will see that it will change from pointy corners to smooth corners. Once you're done, go ahead and click on OK. And here we go. We have created in just 2 steps our wiggly line. Now, once we have our line, I'm going to go ahead and use the Alt Option key in order to click and drag so I can actually duplicate and move a copy of our wiggly line. I can see the YouTube chat very active. Make sure to jump on behance.net/live. That is the place in which we hang out together at the Adobe community. So now that we do have this wiggly line, how do we make it 3D? Actually, let's backstep 1 second. The entire idea here is to use this wiggly line as the spine and create a 3D text effect that follows the line. So how do we actually make this text 3D? Now, some of you might be thinking about a tool that is called Type on a Path. If I go ahead and select Type on a Path, and I'm just going to go ahead and double click on this text to copy. With the Type on a Path tool, if we do select this path, it's just a straight line because we have an effect applied to it. So the text becomes just on a straight line, and that is not really going to work. So how do we actually place this text on the line, but maybe also project it on a 3D? Well, before we get started, all we have to do is to work with the symbol panel. And hands up in the chat if you work if you have used the panel before, the symbol panel before, and if not, just let me know also in the chat if it's the first time that you are using it. I can see Beulah say wiggle wiggle wiggle. Yeah, that's actually very fun. So again, I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of the text, select the item with the selection tool, click and drag while holding the Alt key on Windows. That will be the Options key on a Mac, and you will be able by dragging to create a copy, which you can also move anywhere you want. Now I'm going to go ahead and double click. We talked before about the difference between point type and area type. You can tell by the fact that I only have one single handle located on the side of my type box that I am dealing with a point type. Therefore, if I'm going to go ahead and resize by clicking and dragging the corner of this type, we will be distorting the type. And I do not want that. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on it in order to create an area type and actually transform the point type into an area type. And you will see automatically that we do have two different handles here, and that means that if I click and drag one of the corner or the bounding box, I will be able to simply extend my text area. Now I'm going to go ahead and double click on my text to copy it, and all I want to do, because my wiggly line is quite long, I'm just going to copy and paste this text over and over again. So by doing so, I will be able to have a little bit more of text to play with. Perfect. What I like to do here before moving forward is to also create a copy of the text. I'm going to change it real quick into a point type, and then I'm going to outline it by using the shortcut Shift Command O if you're working on a Mac. Otherwise, it will be Shift Control O if you're working on a Windows machine. And you'll see that now the text is not editable anymore. If there is a mistake and I want to change something, I still have a copy here. That's why I always have a work in progress little artboard in which I store everything that I create. Is good to work. So if you ever do a change like working destructively and transforming a live text into a shape, you will always be able to go back at the stage right before. So that makes sure always to create a copy for your safety. You can always get rid of it, or as I said, you can use your layers in order to maybe create a new layer here, which I'm going to go ahead and call, let's go and see if we can see the bottom of the layers panel. I'm going to click on the plus icon to create a new layer. I'm going to call this one maybe to delete, so you can place in here everything that you need to delete, and we can go ahead and select a copy of these text and paste it into the delete. So if you don't need it right now, we can just simply hide it. It's not messy. If we ever need to go back, we can always head to and activate the visibility of this layer. We can go back and check the type, or we can maybe call it live type. That makes more sense. That means that that type that is there is editable. So it's going to stay there, but it will allow us to have more space. Perfect. Now that we have created this text that, as I say, is a shape, you will be also able to see that is a shape by using the outline view mode. You can access the outline view mode by pressing that Command Y. That will be Control Y if you're working on a Windows machine. And you can see the difference here. A shape or an outlined text that is being converted into path will feature our lovely anchor points, which are our points that create each path. In this case, there have been built around the text. While here, where we have the live text, we simply have the actual type in black over white. And as you can see, if you want, I can edit it, I can add exclamation mark, I can delete it, I can do whatever I want. So that's a good way of discovering if the text is live or not, besides just simply clicking on it. Again, I'm going to press the Command Y. That will be the Control Y shortcut in order to go back to our normal view. So all we're left to do is to select the text that we want to map into this 3D art, and then we're going to go ahead and select the window menu, which is the place in which all the panel lives, and I'm going to go ahead and from here select symbols. So I'm going to go ahead and access the symbol panel. So once you do so, you will see that the symbol are just going to be there, and all you're left to do is to make sure to select the art that you want to transform to a symbol. You can click on the plus icon located at the bottom of the panel. That plus icon is pretty much consistent throughout every single panel. If you want to create a new text styles, if you want to create a new layer, you will always see this little plus icon in a square, and that is exactly letting you know that that's how you can add more or whatever it is in that panel. Here, I'm going to call this a symbol, new symbol that we create in text. Dynamic and static is not really relevant right now, is more for when we were using Flash. So do not worry about that. You can keep it as it is, and all you'll have to do after you name it is to click on OK. I will suggest to name it so it's nice to reference it in the future. And then I'm just going to go ahead here and maybe create a different copy. I'm just going to use a different color just to make a change here. And if you want, you can just access it and change it as many times as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, before doing that, see, that's the beauty of having the layers, because I've just transformed that specific text into a symbol. I can go ahead and go back to my live text. I can create a copy, outline it again. Oops. There we go. Let's exit this, align it again, Shift Command O, and then we can change colors. So I can create a symbol with a text of a different color. So I'm going to call text blue. Perfect. And I'm going to click on OK. I want to make sure also that I bring that into my design layer. So as I said, you can now hide the previous one, and here we have. So we have the two symbol over there. And it's now time to transform our line into a 3D object to which we can apply our text and map our text. So we've created text, we created the symbol, it's now time to apply it into the 3D line. I'm going to go ahead and use this wiggle line in order to create the effect. Now, if we head under Window and 3D, our brand new 3D panel will pop up. Well, we're still going to leverage the power of the 3D Classic. So what was before last year, Adobe Max, when the new release of the 3D has been made available, I'm going to go ahead and select Effect in this case, and from the 3D materials, I want to make sure to select 3D Classic and Extrude and Bevel Classic. Make sure again to use your Classics options because otherwise you will not be able to access the map art. Here I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we use the extrude depth in order to have enough surface for our text, and I'm also going to go ahead and select this little cube over here in order to have a custom rotation, and this is a perfect way to create this little preview of the way that the text is mapped. I'm going to go ahead and have no shading because I just want to use this for our text, and this is the button that you really want to pay attention to, which is the map art. Go ahead and click on map art, and by the way, if you see changes happening to my screen and not yours, most likely is because you do not have ticked the preview. So always make sure to click on the preview in order to understand what's going on. First thing that I'm going to do here is to make sure that my geometry is invisible because I just want to work with the actual text. I don't want any color to be showcased for now behind. And now another thing that you want to pay attention is how come that before we see all the extended and now we just see this side? Well, because we're working on different surface. So this is only one of the side of our surface. Then as you can see here in the preview, not only we have the light preview of the surface, but it will also change into our outline that we see here. So here we have the back and the front of our little wavy 3D texture. I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in so you can actually see what is going on a little bit better. Here we go. So all I have to do here, once I change the surface and I make sure that I'm on the right first surface, you see that we have the option to access symbol, and that's why you want to create your symbol ahead. I'm going to go ahead and click on the down pointing arrow and select my text. And then from here, you will be able from this little preview window to edit the size, but also rotate your text. If you want to resize it proportionally, make sure to hold the shift key just before you're actually resizing it, and then you can resize it to fit your artboard just like so. And as you can see, we've already mapped our text into these wiggly lines. So it's almost like using the text and have it as a piece of paper that is being folded or that maybe that is flying along. All I have to do here now is to click on OK to apply the changes, and again press OK. So we have our mapped art. But what if now we want a background, for example? I'm just going to go ahead and have a quick glass of water. What if we want like a colorful background to be exactly as the shape as we said, so it look like almost as there is a paper behind it? Well, very simple. All we'll have to do is to go ahead and use the option key to create a copy. And then I'm going to go ahead and select our window menu and then the appearance panel. The appearance panel is super awesome. It will list everything that is applied to this specific shape. And as you can see, I'm just actually going to select this one so you can see a little bit better. If you want to undo the zigzag, you can just simply click on it because it's an effect that is applied. If you want to undo the 3D, we can go back to our zigzag line. And again, as I said, if you want to undo the zigzag, you can go back to the straight line. So you can actually activate and deactivate every single effect or anything that you've applied to your design, to your graphic through the panel. And also, most importantly, if we go back and select a new effect to apply to a shape, usually what happens is just layers effect on top of effect. So if we want to edit them, the best thing to do is to head to the appearance panel and then go ahead and find out whatever is that particular appearance that you want to edit. In this case, double click on our 3D Extrude and Bevel in order to access it. Make sure that from map art we go to the right surface and we delete our text. So we're going to set our symbol to none, and then I'm going to untick invisible geometry if you want to apply color to it. Otherwise you can keep the invisible geometry applied and click on OK, and then OK again. So now we have this surface that is there ready for us to be transformed into the background. So what I'm going to do here is head to the edit menu and to the object menu and select expand appearance. So you will see that by doing so, once we select expand appearance, everything will be actually expanded into a new design. So let me go ahead and move this up here so we can choose expand appearance, and we should have our little graphic. I don't know why it disappeared. Let's do this again real quick. So I'm going to go ahead to extrude and bevel, and we're going to delete our mapped art. Let me just make sure that we delete it from the light panel. I know that I have just a few seconds there. Click on OK and click on OK again. And then from here, object and expand appearance, and here it is. So we have now completely expanded our line. We will not be able to edit it anymore. As you can see now, if we head to the appearance panel, differently from before, there is no more 3D and no more zigzag, because we have expanded and applied. Almost when we flatten flatten an image, although this is still editable, it's still vector, we can resize it, but most importantly, we can change its color. So if you wish to have a background for your text, you can head and just do so in order to create something that has the same shape, and it will be able to hold your wrap text. So just work with a copy. And then from here, all I have to do is to head to the properties panel and make sure that we align them vertically and horizontally so they can also match our text. And you can also refine it as much as you want manually, simply by selecting it and using the arrow keys in your from your keyboard. So what happens if you now change your mind again and you want to change, for example, this text? So let's say you want to get rid of the blue background and we're actually going to make it orange, and now you want your text to be blue. So what we're going to do here is, again, to select, make sure that we select the text, and from the appearance panel we can double click on the 3D extrude and bevel, and from the map art we can go ahead and make sure that you select the right surface here. So it's surface number 7 is the very last one. I'm going to go ahead and choose my text in blue. Again, every time that you add a symbol, you will have to place it correctly inside your surface. Again, you have the preview here that will allow you to see the way that the text will be actually placed inside your shape and inside your surface, just like so. Whenever you're happy with it, just press on OK, and you will see that is right away applied to your surface. Then click on OK, and you're pretty much done in order to have your wrapped effect. Now, there is so much more that you can do here. You can keep adding more appearance. Just go ahead and explore all the effects that you have here under your appearance panel. There are a ton. Just go and have fun, apply some grain, apply some drop shadow. I really look forward to see what you create. And in order for me to see what you create, the place in which you have to do so is our Discord channel, as I show you briefly at the beginning. That is the link just behind me, which is bit.ly/AI Discord. All you have to do is to click on the challenge channel here. I think it's behind me, or just here it is. Woo! Over there. And then all you'll have to do here is to click on the plus icon in order to export your work. Now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye, but don't worry, we're going to be back with many more challenges. And also here in Adobe Live, there is always so many creatives sharing the fun with you. So don't forget to jump on behance.net/live, go and grab a glass of water while we take a quick break, and we're going to be back with brand new fun stream. I will see you very soon, everybody, but goodbye for now.